Hi, this is American Perspective with Patriot Mom 007, and today we're very pleased, my friend Jeff Zink, he is joining us today. And if you don't know Jeff, he is running actually across town from here. It's the 3rd Congressional District for the U.S. Congress here in Arizona. Our primary is coming up on Tuesday, so I wanted to invite him. I haven't seen him. He's super busy. You'll hear why soon. To come in and give us a little bit of rundown. He's not in the primary. He's going straight to the general for his seat. So it was a good opportunity to catch up. So thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
And making time the last minute, literally yesterday at 6 p.m.
Yep. The great thing is, one of the things that I've been doing is I've been working diligently for the Arizona people and for the United States. There's a lot of people that are going out and they're campaigning. The problem is that they're getting information that I'm providing them. Yet they haven't given me any credit for it. So we've got a lot of people are going out campaigning saying that they need to stop the election, we need to clean it up, we need to do that.
Right.
But why? Why is it that we need to do that? One of the things that we've just finished, in fact this weekend we did an event where we showed video of the actual people that deleted the files from our database. And so the thing is that now Rusty Bowers and Jack.
Well, Rusty was just de-Republicanized. I don't know what they have a name for it, but they un-Republican him. He can't. He's not a Republican in good standing.
They censored him.
Did they censure him?
They censored him.
Okay, I didn't hear that actual word. I thought it was more of like some kind of vote or something without the official censure. But anyway, he's not a Republican in good standing. So that's Rusty Bowers. So he just brought him up. If you don't know.
Okay, and then and these were the guys that actually testified before the J6 hearing. As well. So they've perjured themselves before Congress.
Right.
We have a great example of what happens. Steve Bannon was just indicted for actually doing that very same thing, which he didn't. He didn't perjure himself.
Nope.
He didn't lie, but now we have affirmative facts because you got to not only see the video of them sitting down at the computer, but we actually show them the database themselves, and we have them correlated, time stamped as well. So that time stamp, when it's matched, you see them sit down, you see them log into the database, you see them start deleting, you now find out the video, and we're not redacting anything. See, remember, we've already turned this over to Brnovich. Brnovich has not done anything at all.
Right.
So
and let me just, for the people who are going to watch this, when he says we turn this over to Mark Brnovich, who's our current Attorney General, he's up for election, and he's actually going for our Senate House seat. So we're hoping that doesn't happen. So don't vote for Mark Brnovich if you're watching, because we know him, and you'll hear why. And what we turned over was, after the Arizona audit, that I worked with Jeff, and that's how we met. For 3 months, we were working 12-hour shifts. Well, he was working 16-hour shifts. I was only working 12-hour shifts 6 days a week. Anyway, so we had a lot of time to talk, right? So the report was made. It was given to the Secretary of State's office and the legislature, and they revealed it to all of you a while ago. I don't know, a year ago maybe right now. And a lot of things that we knew as audit workers who touched and saw that hundreds of thousands of ballots, over that month of time, we knew things were wrong that were not in the report or hadn't been addressed properly, that we brought to their attention with our own eyes seeing it. And I mean thousands of people, not just me, thousands of people working 3 rotating shifts 6 days a week for 5 months. So you can imagine how many people saw the same evidence. So it's not as if one person's saying it, it's literally hundreds of people in one location saying it. Okay, just to set the scene if you don't know what happened at the audit, okay?
Right.
Because a lot of people don't know, right? They just hear they're counting a rotating thing and they can't count fast enough. That's what they hear.
Exactly.
That's not what happened, okay?
Right.
So I just wanted to share a little more. So Mark Brnovich, our current Attorney General, literally withheld information and didn't act upon things that had been reported and found, and now we can go.
Yeah, and
So
so
caught up.
so the whole idea is that this past weekend when we sat down and we had Carrie Lake, we had Mark Fincham, we had Sonny Borelli, we had myself, and we have Ron Hanks from Colorado that's coming down. Ron has been fighting in Colorado as well. We have the Secretary of State from New Mexico is also coming in, and they're trying. So what we're trying to do is show we have all of these different states. Now the thing is that Arizona, Wisconsin, as of let's see,
A couple days
4
ago.
days ago.
4? Okay, I thought it was
So it'd
yesterday,
be-
but okay.
But it's going to be 4 days.
Sure.
And so 4 days ago, they came out and they agreed with Texas, Arizona,
Right.
Pennsylvania, Republican side, and then Wisconsin has all come in saying that there was so much.
Listen to this. This is the important part. If you've tuned out, we need to do a star here. Check the time, and I'm going to star the screen so we know where to mark it for you guys who aren't listening, to put a big thing to listen right now.
Right. So that they have now rescinded their endorsement of the certification of the electoral votes that went to Washington, D.C. Now, the problem is that we have been talking about that it's too late. It was already certified.
They said they couldn't do it. They said it could never be done. That's what they said.
So, and one of the things that's been aggravating is the fact that we've got people running around going, we need to decertify. Well, according to the Arizona Constitution, you can't do that.
Right.
Once it's certified, we can't decertify.
Uncertify it.
But
There's
we
no
can
takebacks.
nullify it.
Right.
So in
And
nullification,
with procedural issues.
that's right.
Yeah.
So when we present all of this evidence that we now, over the weekend has given to the public, which is what we give to Brnovich,
Right.
you can now see for yourself what we have uncovered in 2020. See, the problem is, and most of the people that are going around and they're campaigning, one of the things is that I've been, absent of campaigning.
Right.
Well, it's because we've been doing all this research and everything, because it doesn't matter. You can campaign all you want. You can win your primary. But when it comes to the general election, instead of you being elected, if you're not part of the selection, and you're not selected, then you will not make it into office.
That's right.
So for me, I recognize this. Do I campaign, go around and talk about this, or do I actually do the research, what we did there? And let me tell you something. What's really important, people need to understand this. The audit came because of We the People AZ Alliance. You had Shelby Bush, we had Steve Robinson, we had Eric Warnock, we had Josh Burnett, we had David Jose, and we had Lyle Rapacki that did some things in the background and helped. All of them were instrumental in getting this, but Steve and Shelby are the two with We the People AZ Alliance that we would have never gotten a audit through the Senate and worked. And they also were deputy liaisons to Randy Poland and to Ken Bennett.
Right.
So the thing is that why is this so important? If we do not take care of 2020 and we don't recognize what had happened, now it's up to We the People, not just We the People AZ Alliance, but it's We the People
collectively who live in the states that this is happening in, which is all of them, if you weren't aware. I'm going to add that too.
So
or most of them, let's say most of them.
Absolutely.
Right.
So one of the things that we need to do is we need to sit down and you need to start calling your legislator, the ones that represent you in the House, the ones that represent you in Senate, and you need to make sure that they understand that you will not tolerate this any longer.
Right.
Also, you need to be looking at the election boxes. See, Steve Richer did us a wonderful job. We now have 229 electoral boxes.
Drop boxes.
And he made all of them where if you go to any one of them, it's just like going to a polling station.
Yep.
So the thing is, now it's going to be really tough because why is it so important? Well, 2,000 Mules came out.
Yes. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's only a few dollars on 2000mules.com. It's like $4.99 or something. Download it.
Or come in a couple of weeks to one of my fundraisers, and you can see it at a couple of the churches that I'm going to be at and stuff, and it's just for donation. That's it.
Nice.
You donate to my campaign, you get in. If you don't donate, you still get in.
Right.
But the idea is this. I've been working with Greg and with Catherine, and we have started organizing what's taking place. We need your help. So we can go to We the People website, and with that, you can click on Observe these ballot boxes. And what we're trying to do is because some of them are not being video 24/7.
Right.
So anybody can show up, they can dump off these ballots and stuff.
And if you saw the movie 2000 Mules, you would know that they had already filmed what Jeff just described as possibly happening right now. They filmed it last time it happened, and it's in the movie repeatedly in multiple areas around Arizona from multiple people doing it. So you can see for yourself. You don't have to believe him. Just check out the movie.
That's right.
And then cut to now. We don't really want that to happen again. When we literally have footage of it happening, it's not as if somebody's making it up. It's not about Fox reporting it versus CNN reporting it and cutting out information. It's literally on video
Absolutely.
for an hour and a half. So they didn't cut a whole bunch of videos together. They didn't do that. You can tell. In fact, try to show yourself that it's a real video and watch it. And then you can, if you see any discrepancies, of course, let us know. But I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I think you'll see just a movie. So what tomorrow, so we totally distracted from where we were going to go with this. I really wanted to say before we got into the weeds, so we're going to step away for a second just to I haven't seen him in 3 months. So I was actually looking forward to the fun conversation and catching up. So I do want to say, because Stephanie's not here, his beautiful wife, Stephanie, if you don't know her, she's fiery red, like the brave girl on that movie. And I won't say by who, because we don't like them anymore, I don't think. I think they're a bad company. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're a woke company.
I'm never not sure, but I think they're on the bad list. They're on the naughty list. So, but we do like the brave character. So Stephanie is fiery like that, and she is always by Jeff's side, typically wherever I see them, and she's working actually today, so she couldn't be here. But you guys have been married how long?
10 years.
10 years,
Yep.
And I don't know that we'll have to have you back for a candid how that happened, because it's a great story. We don't have time for it today.
Right.
But I love her, so I just want to say, Stephanie, if you watch this, I'm not cutting you out. I love you. We're going to do it again when it's not all heightened everything else.
Once I'm a congressman,
and you can come
then
on
we can
too.
go
Stephanie
through it.
can come on. I send the invitation. So Jeff was raised in Texas, a small town, Phillips. So I've never heard of it, and I've been to Texas, so I'm assuming it's super small.
It is. In fact, it doesn't exist any longer.
Oh, that's not good.
Back in
I was
1979,
expecting that.
I literally grew up in the refinery of Phillips 66 refinery. So Phillips was named after Phillips Petroleum Company. And the thing is that in 79 it had an explosion. Now, we had moved to Borger a year earlier, and I was still going to Phillips anyway, because it's only 2 miles away. But after that happened, what ended up happening is that the company decided to move the town out. So all of the houses went to Stinnett, Borger, and Fritch. And all of those towns got the houses and
they absorbed them into
their cities.
Yeah, that's what Phoenix is trying to do all over town.
That's right.
We don't like that.
And so what ended up happening is that all of the kids for a couple of years went back to Phillips, but then eventually, since there was no one living in the city limits any longer, the high school also stopped existing.
Right.
So I'm a dying breed. There's not very many.
Did you say dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
Dying
as well.
breed. Oh,
that's right.
He's not. He's actually really young.
So, but there's very few Blackhawks in the world from Phillips, and we get less every year. But the thing is that I also worked in the oil field. I worked on the 4-6 Ranch, which now is the big thing because of Yellowstone.
I haven't seen that yet. I heard it's really good.
And so it's kind of fun. But that also kind of gives me one of the reasons why I wear a cowboy hat and stuff. And
because you're a cowboy?
I am a cowboy. So, but the thing is that taught me
he really is a
hard
cowboy.
work, doing the right thing for the right reasons and being a man of your word, which is contrary to what a lot of the candidates and politicians these days
The hypocrisy
do.
part?
Yes.
Is not a man. That makes them the opposite of man of their word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I wonder if anybody ever thinks it out like that. Like, do we ever like put it all together? I know we know they do this, but do we ever go to the next thought and be like, wait, then if they do this, that actually means that they're this, or that, like by their actions? Like, I wonder if people really are thinking it all the way through, or they just see a blurb on news and they're like, oh yeah, that's bad.
Well, part of it is that they want to be popular so that they can get reelected. How about this? Do your job, represent the people,
Yep.
and they will
You will be
actually
super
elect
popular.
you. They'll actually elect you.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I'm going against is one of the worst Marxist, Democrats, socialists.
Right.
That is, he basically is the face of the Democratic Party.
And that is Ruben Gallego.
And what we need to do is we need to sit down, and that's kind of one of the things that I brought here. It's pretty much black and white. It goes through so many of the different things.
So they can't probably see it because it's not super close, but
Right.
But what it is a list, and on one side is in English because some of us speak that. But guess what? There's also Spanish on the other side because not everybody speaks English. So it's kind of handy when everybody can read everything. So there's no suppression cited. So it's actually, I wonder who else is printing in two sides. I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out because that would kind of be suppressive if you weren't too. Anyway, it says a bunch of things on here, all the issues, America First, and it's a yes or no. So super simple to read. And it tells you what Jeff thinks of each. And it's a really quick way. We're going to put it up too later. It's a really quick way of you to know who you're voting for. And I know everybody's going to say, well, we can't really believe everything they say because they're candidates and they all lie. That's what I hear all the time from people. And I would say this, that could be true, but if somebody's already in office and you already see what they haven't done for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 years, some of us, those people, they're not doing a good job. And until somebody proves you wrong in life, I think you probably shouldn't just count them out. I think that's kind of unfair, and I know everybody does that. But we were old school, they tell you until somebody wrongs you, you think of them as a good person. Somebody says that's Pollyanna these days, maybe, but how can I think he's a bad person if he's not done anything wrong? That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I just want to say, because people never think of the characteristics. I feel
absolutely.
like that's part of the problem, right? Do you see that to
Well,
be a problem?
one of the problems that I see is this, and people can relate. We work very hard every day. We come home and we want to have fun with our children. We want to have money to take them to go places. Do we have money to go places?
Right.
No, we don't.
No.
Because of the policies that the Democrats have put in place. And one of the things, so in 2000, when the Democrats actually took Congressional Seat 3, we had 12% of the population below the poverty line.
What is it, at 18 now, I'm going to guess? Higher? Okay,
So much
then I'm going to go 28.
22 years later, we're at 67%.
Oh, I was still very low.
Below the poverty line. We don't have any manufacturing whatsoever in CD3. We don't even have a hospital. You have to travel 25 minutes to get to a hospital.
What cities encompass that?
Okay, so it's Levine, South Mountain, Avondale area.
Surprise too, or no?
No.
Or then
no.
So just so
it's
you don't
all
know,
South Mountain area.
So for people who don't know, those 3 areas are some of the fastest growing places where they're building homes the last 6 years, and people have been moving in like crazy. So what was once desert, arid, a couple houses on it, now have master planned communities on all 3 of those cities. So there's actually hundreds of thousands of people living in them, I would assume.
Well, what's going to happen is, and we also need to look at the census.
In 2022.
We just went through the census and stuff. I'm going to be representing 836,000. all 9
Oh,
districts
a
are
lot, yeah.
over 800,000.
So you're almost a million and you don't have a hospital?
No.
I mean, just boiling it down for people who don't like the other words, you know what I mean, sometimes. So 1 million people live on the other side of town in Arizona. We're in Phoenix, they're like 20 minutes away. They know they've been moving in because they've been building houses left and right, like popping them up, like
Well, even
matchsticks,
more than that.
right? So they know it's
High
happening,
density
and they still haven't built. Arizona, the person in charge of that district, three, District 3,
Yep.
Ruben Gallego, who's been in for how long?
8 years.
8 years. I thought 6. I'm not sure, but okay. So 8, even worse. Hasn't even levied his state, who he can bargain with for the people, to get them a hospital
Yep.
in the last 8 years. So I don't know Ruben Gallego, so I'm not judging him on his character or if he's going to do something bad or good. But that, he's already done that. That sounds bad to me. I know Jeff. You can meet him too in the next 6 months. He'll be out everywhere. I encourage you to meet the candidates and talk to them. They have things every day, practically, sometimes 5 times a day. Don't take my word for it, because I know him, and I know he's a man of faith, and I know that this conversation that you're hearing right now, no candidate talks like that about all these like little rinky-dink things around that never get brought up. But those are the things that are affecting you in your city, wherever you are, and us in our city here in Arizona.